I, 28M, had been dating Melissa, 27F, for a little over 3 years. We had moved in together about a year and a half ago, and things were going pretty well, or so I thought. We had talked about marriage, kids, the whole 9 yards. I was actually planning to propose in the next few months. Last Thursday, I got a surprise when my boss told us we could all leave early. A client had canceled a major meeting, and instead of making us sit around for the rest of the day, he let everyone go home at 2 p.m. I was thrilled. I'd been pulling 60-hour weeks for the past month on a massive project, and I was exhausted. The thought of getting home early, maybe surprising Melissa, who works from home on Thursdays, and then crashing for a nap sounded perfect. I stopped by a bakery on the way home and picked up some of those chocolate croissants she loves. I was actually feeling good for the first time in weeks. When I got to our apartment building, I noticed her friend Kate's car parked outside. That wasn't unusual. Kate often came over to work with Melissa since they're in similar fields. I quietly let myself in, thinking I might surprise them both. Our apartment has this weird layout where the entryway leads to a small hallway before opening to the living room, so they couldn't see me come in. As I was about to turn the corner and announce myself, I heard them talking and laughing in the kitchen. I paused when I heard my name. And Mike has no idea? That was Kate's voice. None whatsoever. Melissa's voice, followed by a laugh. He's so clueless sometimes. I actually feel a little bad, but not bad enough to stop. My blood ran cold. I froze in place, the bakery bag clutched in my hand. How long has it been now? Kate again. Almost 6 months. God, it feels good to finally tell someone. I've been keeping this bottled up for so long. Another laugh from Melissa. You should see the way Jason looks at me. Mike never looks at me like that anymore. 6 months. Jason. The name hit me like a truck. Jason was her coworker who'd been promoted to her department about 6 months ago. He'd been over for dinner twice. I'd shaken his hand, offered him beer, asked about his family. Aren't you worried Mike will find out? Kate asked. Honestly, sometimes I think I want him to. Maybe it would force us to have the conversation we need to have. Things haven't been the same for a while now. I felt like I was going to throw up. My ears were ringing. The worst part wasn't even the revelation of the affair, it was how casual she sounded. How she laughed about it. How she was discussing it like it was some amusing anecdote, and not the complete betrayal of everything we'd built together. I didn't make a sound. I didn't confront her. I just quietly turned around, walked out the door, and closed it silently behind me. I don't really remember getting back to my car. I just sat there for what felt like hours, staring at nothing, the bakery bag still in my lap. My phone buzzed a few times, work emails probably, but I couldn't bring myself to look at it. All I could hear was Melissa's laughter echoing in my head. Eventually, I started the car and drove. No destination in mind, just away. I ended up at a small park about 20 minutes from our apartment. I used to come here to clear my head when we first moved to the area. I sat on a bench and finally looked at my phone. 3 emails from work, nothing from Melissa. Of course not. She had no idea I'd even been home. I called my best friend, Ryan. He picked up on the third ring. Hey man, what's up? I tried to speak, but the words got caught in my throat. I just sat there breathing into the phone. Mike? You okay? No. I finally managed. Not really. I gave him the bare-bones version. He immediately offered his guest room, no questions asked. That's the kind of friend Ryan is. I told him I'd be there in an hour. I needed some time to figure out what to do next. As I sat there, I started thinking about the last 6 months. Had there been signs I missed? Thinking back, there were plenty. Late nights at the office. Sudden work trips. The way she'd guard her phone. How our intimacy had dropped off, with her always having an excuse. Classic signs, really. I just hadn't wanted to see them. But the worst part wasn't the cheating, it was hearing her laugh about it. About me. About us. 3 years together, just a joke to her now. I made a decision then. I wasn't going to confront her. I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction of seeing me hurt, of having that conversation we need to have on her terms. If she wanted out so badly that she'd cheat instead of just talking to me, then I'd give her what she wanted. I'd just be gone. I drove back to our apartment, timing it so I'd arrive around 5:30 p.m., when she'd expect me home normally. Kate's car was gone. Good. Melissa greeted me with a quick kiss, acting completely normal. How was work? She asked, scrolling through her phone. Fine. I replied, my voice surprisingly steady. I'm going to take a quick shower. In the bedroom, I quietly packed an overnight bag with essentials. Toothbrush, couple changes of clothes, laptop, important documents. I'd come back for the rest when she wasn't home. I took the quickest shower of my life, got dressed, and walked back out. Melissa was cooking dinner, her back to me. I need to run out for a bit, I said casually. Ryan needs help with something. She didn't even turn around. Oh, okay. Will you be back for dinner? Probably not. Don't wait up. And that was it. I walked out the door with my overnight bag. She didn't even notice I was carrying it. She didn't question why Ryan would need help at dinner time. She probably welcomed the chance to text Jason without me around. As I drove to Ryan's place, my phone finally lit up with a text from her. "Get some beer if you're stopping at the store." That was the moment I knew for certain I was making the right choice. The next day was Friday. I called in sick to work for the first time in 2 years. Melissa texted around 9 a.m. asking where I was. I didn't reply. By noon, she'd called 3 times and sent several increasingly concerned texts. I turned my phone off. Ryan was amazing through all of this. He took the day off too, and we spent it making a plan. We called my landlord. Thankfully, both our names were on the lease, and explained the situation. He was surprisingly understanding and agreed to let me break the lease with 30 days' notice if Melissa wanted to stay, or help me find a subletter if she left. Around 2 p.m., I finally turned my phone back on. 15 missed calls, dozens of texts, and even a couple of calls from her mother. The last text read, "I'm getting really worried. Please just let me know you're alive. I'm calling the police if I don't hear from you soon." I sent one text, "I'm fine. I'll be by tomorrow to get my things. I know about Jason." She immediately called. I declined. She called again. I turned my phone off. The next day, Saturday, I picked a time when I knew she'd be home. Ryan came with me for support and as a witness. When we arrived, Melissa looked terrible, like she hadn't slept. Her eyes were red and puffy. "Mike, thank God. I was so worried. What is going on? Who's Jason?" I looked her straight in the eyes. "I came home early on Thursday. I heard you and Kate in the kitchen." The color drained from her face. She started shaking. "Mike, I can explain. You don't need to." I cut her off. "I heard enough. I heard you laugh about how clueless I am. About how Jason looks at you. About your 6-month affair." Ryan stood silently by the door as I moved through the apartment, methodically packing my belongings. Melissa followed me, crying and trying to explain. "It was just a stupid mistake," she pleaded. "It didn't mean anything. I was going to end it, I swear." "If it didn't mean anything, why did you do it for 6 months?" I asked, not really expecting an answer. "Why risk everything we built? Why not just talk to me if you were unhappy?" She had no answer for that. Just more tears and apologies. As I packed the last of my things, she grabbed my arm. "Please, can we at least talk about this? Don't throw away 3 years over one mistake." I gently removed her hand. "It wasn't one mistake. It was hundreds of choices, every day for 6 months. And it's not me throwing it away. You already did that." Before I left, I placed the small velvet box with the engagement ring I'd bought 2 months ago on the counter. "I was going to propose next month, on your birthday," I said quietly. "I hope he's worth it." That was 3 weeks ago. I've moved into a new apartment. I've blocked Melissa on everything. According to mutual friends, she's been telling everyone that I overreacted, that it was just an emotional affair that happened because I was neglecting her. Some believe her, some don't. I don't really care anymore. The strangest part is that I'm not as devastated as I thought I'd be. Don't get me wrong, it hurts like hell. But there's also this weird sense of relief, like I narrowly avoided a much bigger disaster down the road. I'm not sure what the future holds, but I know one thing. I deserve better than someone who could laugh about betraying me.